Welcome back to my channel, guys. Today I'm going to be making a blueberry cobbler. It's raining, so we wanted something warm, sweet, and a little bit tart. So I think that's the perfect dessert to have. Let's go. Alright guys, so first you want to make sure the oven's preheated to 375. And I'm going to be using about 2 cups of blueberries and just a regular schmegular pan here. And I'm gonna lightly grease this. Just lightly. And then to my blueberries, I'm adding 1/3 cup of sugar. A teaspoon of lemon zest. Tablespoon of flour, I'm gonna add also to that 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Then we're gonna give it a stir. We added the flour to basically act as a thickening agent. So it's just gonna make the juices from the blueberry a little bit thicker in our cobbler. Also, in regards to the 1/3 cup of sugar, you can add more, but I wanna use 1/3. Normally, this recipe calls for 1/2 cup, but I switched it up a bit. Then I'm just gonna add a tablespoon of melted butter. And stir it in. Make sure everything is well blended. And then I'm just gonna put it in our pan that we greased. And just spread it evenly all over the bottom of the pan. There we go. And then we're just going to set this aside and get started on part 2. Okay, let's get started on our batter. We're going to add to our bowl here 1 3/4 cups of flour. Half a cup of sugar, 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder, and 5 tablespoons of really cold butter. And you can either use your fingers for this part, a fork, or a pastry cutter. So basically we're just gonna be mixing the butter well into the flour. And you can just work it in just like this, forming little cutlets and crumbles. It's gonna start looking like crumbles, and that's what you're looking for. Make sure you get it, all the big chunks of butter. So you're cutting into the flour and that butter. To this, we're gonna add half the juice of a lemon. This is optional. This is just my recipe. Kind of like get that in there. Still working on that. All right, now I'm gonna go ahead and make a well inside my bowl, leaving the flour to the side, and add half a cup of milk. And work it in there. Your batter is gonna look like this, like a really loose, wet batter. All right, that's what we're looking for. So now I'm just gonna let this batter sit for 10 minutes. We're gonna have it rest. So I'm just gonna cover it up and let it rest, and we'll be right back. All right, our dough has been rested. Well, batter has been rested and it's ready. And do you see how that looks? That's totally fine. I'm just gonna go ahead and spoon it over the blueberry mixture that we had earlier. Trying to get it all in there. All right, one layer in this. I'm gonna smooth it out just a little, but leaving a little bit of peepholes for the blueberries, like on the sides where you see there's little blueberries looking out. That's fine. That's just the way I'm gonna leave it. All right. And this last part, you don't have to do this, but it's basically cinnamon sugar. It's like a teaspoon of sugar to half a teaspoon of cinnamon, and I'm just gonna spread it on over the top. Just a little bit, because I'm not even using the whole thing. I just mixed it together, and I'm just sprinkling just a little on top, and you really don't have to do that. But I like it this way. But it's fine just without it. All right, so we're basically finished. Now we're just gonna move on to baking, and we're gonna put it in our preheated oven for 35 to 40 minutes, or when it's golden brown. And you can also test the dough. Just make sure you don't poke into it with the knife or the toothpick too far down, because you'll get into the blueberries, just far enough so you'll get under your dough. All right, here's our cobbler straight out of the oven, all golden brown, looking luscious, and you can see the blueberry that's fighting to come through. I'm just gonna go ahead and take a scoop out of that and show you what it looks like. So good.